3 words to describe your experience so far, where you're at.
This experience has been helpful, hopeful, and challenging.
What I love is the helpfulness and the introspection it's given me. The takeaway's been improving in a lot of areas that I was clearly lacking in. One of them with me has been self-confidence. This is something I've been working on, of getting myself in shape physically, and emotionally, and mentally.
Michelle.
So much pressure. Overwhelming, frustrating, and eye-opening.
Sure.
So when I did the relationship patterns exercise,
Yes.
which I loved, I was like, this is wild.
Yes.
Because I never broke down all of my relationships in that way before.
And they're
I was like,
significant relationships, not
yeah.
just romantic.
Well, no, not just romantic.
Right.
I also included my parents and my
Right.
siblings and all of that, and some of my childhood friends. Like I kind of started from early on, and I watched like the patterns were there even before. So it's really interesting because I was like, oh, this must be new that I'm having these issues. It's not.
No.
I've always been attracting the same types of people. I realized I found out through this exercise that on the positive side,
Good.
everyone that I chose was fun,
Oh, okay.
reliable, inclusive.
What do
So
you mean by
they
that?
included me into their
World.
family or their circle or
Okay.
their work world or whatever it was. Like there was a pattern of that,
Right.
of people like welcoming me into their
Right.
world.
That feels good.
Yeah, because I didn't have like a super tight-knit family. So I guess I was subconsciously
Hungry for
choosing
that?
that.
Yeah.
I'd say enlightening, way stressful, and exciting. I think I'm becoming more aware of things in myself from the program, like just more aware of me.
Okay, so we're going to go into a dating plan, which involves 4 things, which is scouting, sorting, screening, and testing. So scouting is actually looking to find that partner that you described. We could go into each one individually. Do you have some ideas on how you might find that person?
No.
Okay, this is why we do a dating plan.
Okay, I mean, no. I mean, are we talking like where I would meet them?
Well, I'll define a little bit
Okay.
better for you. You want to be more organized in your mind about different venues you could find this partner, different places. When you find them, what would you be sorting them for? Like what kind of information would you be asking? What kind of questions would you be asking them to see if they are fitting into your requirements, wants, and needs?
Well, for strategies, I'd look to friends for introductions.
It's a good one. That's great.
I keep an open mind and heart at all times. So I actually am listening to whom I'm speaking with. Events that I would go to, like tomorrow night. Keep myself. I meant to say keep myself like open, even though I'm at an event. So just be aware of my surroundings, kind of thing, because I have a problem with I'm focused on something and I might let something pass by.
Right. And then the sorting strategies?
Sorting, I mean, how did I put this? God, I'm blind as a bat. I'd ask questions when, you first meet someone about themselves and be, what did I say? Oh my gosh, be interested. Sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. Be interested in what they say, but listen at the same time and actually see if it's a right fit for myself and my requirements, kind of thing. It's like just having a conversation with somebody, throw in a few questions and,
But those questions should be a little bit more specific.
Well,
Do you have 1 or 2 in mind?
It would depend on the situation. It would depend on the person. It would depend on my attitude for the day. It would depend on his attitude for the day. It's I can't just like pinpoint boom, 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 boom.
Overwhelming, insightful, and inspiring. And now we're moving into that piece of getting out there and dating, and I don't know if it's resistance so much of a little trepidation. Trepidation is a good word.
So tell me about the recent guy who responded to your profile or reached out to you after reading your profile. Tell me about him.
Well, it was really kind of crazy because it was less than an hour after I left our session
On how to write online profiles?
with So Magic, with the online dating profiles, and I hadn't changed a thing yet. And I get this message, and it's about 4 paragraphs long. And at first I thought I was being punked because this message sounds like someone who's in the radical dating program. No, it's actually kind of silly. It's my favorite aha moment is that I have been treating dates like a job interview and a chore and, just not having that fun and that lightness around it and not having a plan. All right, so this is what I crafted back to him. Thank you again for such a thoughtful, detailed introduction. Most messages feel like a copy-paste job, and I appreciate that you took the time to read my profile and that it resonated with you. Wow, you have passes to Knott's, Disney, and Six Flags? Sold. Smiley face. In my profile, I write that I love roller coasters and amusement parks, and he made a point to mention that he had passes to all of those. Right. So since that message, he has sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 messages between that response and my next response. Since I was a little girl, I have always been known to be the person fixing and helping and saving. My mom used to joke, I would come home from the Granite Run Mall outside of Philadelphia. I was a mall rat. I hung out there every Friday night, every Saturday night. 14, 15, 16 years old. And every week I would come home with a new boyfriend. By choosing these relationships that also needed healing in some way, but it came out sideways, in that we'd get together and it'd be like, I'm gonna fix you. No, you can't fix me. Okay, well then you fix me. No, you can't fix me. Okay, then we're just gonna explode and blow up our lives.
So it's really important to unpack our beliefs and look at them individually one by one and understand, okay, I was given this belief, or I inherited this belief, or I developed this belief, as I grew up from my parents, from, experiences, etc. Is this belief actually serving me still?
It's been so long since I've dated, and now I have all these new tools, things that I've been working on myself for years now, and things that I've been working on through the program, and now it's whether or not I can really put them into practice.
How's it going?
Good, Laura. How are you?
So, I want to hear all about it. How was your date with Josh?
So, I went. I was invited to an event down in Venice Beach in the afternoon, which was kind of near where he lives because we hadn't really still decided on what we were doing. And I just kind of procrastinated all afternoon. I was done everything I needed to be done by say 2 o'clock, and I should have then started to get ready and go to this art gallery and get down there and then meet up with Josh. And I found myself doing everything but.
Answered prayer is the first thing that comes to mind, and illuminating and confronting in welcome ways.
What kind of things are you going to be looking for when you're sorting that would give you indication that you wanted to just sort those people out really quickly? You've talked about that in the past, how you met people was they would be friends or it was just sort of organic, meeting people. So I'm wondering how you would feel about, as you're going to events, as you're talking to friends, as you're out and about with those, even if there's not somebody there that's right for you, what if you started letting people know that I'm dating. I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready to meet people. Because even if there's not somebody there that meets your requirements, is the right one for you, they might know other single people. So it's networking,
Right.
which I know that you already are comfortable doing,
Yeah.
but it's taking that networking to a different level that would give you indication that you wanted to just sort those people out really quickly.
Well, the biggest turnoff for me is when I can tell that a man is hunting a wife, like a wife, versus Wendy on a first date based on, like, I had a man say, I want to see you again. I really need you in my life. But each word he used had a weight to it that felt like grasping energy.
So words, even in an email, if it was an online dating site, you feel like you could pick out that it's not a personal connection they're trying to make.
Well, or that they're kind of in take mode instead of like, I'm looking to create something, to generate something together. And I'm looking at not only what I can receive from a relationship, but what I would be able to contribute that I get really excited about. And so, if there's a man who is only looking for what's in it for him, then that's going to be a glaring red flag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to sort out those people quickly that you don't think have any potential, that you don't want to give any time and attention to. Because you don't want to spend a lot of your time, right, going on, even if it's coffee dates, with people that have zero potential.
The online part of it has been incredible, quite frankly. I had plans with somebody tomorrow night and I canceled it. But I mean that in a positive way, because I went through things with David yesterday when we were chatting, and I said, yeah, she's very nice, this and that, but it's not, if you see these red flags, you move forward. It's not confirmed for Sunday yet. Everything she wrote was spot on perfect. Personality-wise, activity-wise, and even wrote down loves riding motorcycles. Now, I didn't know if that meant on the back of one or has her own. That was one of the questions I actually asked. And I actually just sold my motorcycle yesterday. It was such a wonderfully creative profile she had. And I get so tired reading, I love walks on the beach, I love this, I love that. So this was incredibly creative. Can you pass my test? I got 21 out of 22, and I wouldn't tell her the one that I missed. I'll tell her that, at breakfast.
When we went out on, this is like the first date, because we had 2 dates. So the first date, it was nice. I was surprised at how young he was. I actually didn't know. I thought he was a little older than what he
looked
was.
older. I was going to ask you, what did you know about him?
Yeah.
Other than he was hot.
Right. Well, he had lied to me. I asked him if he owned the building, and he said no, that he just managed it. But then when we went out and we were having food and talking, he was like, I lied. I say that I'm the manager, but I actually am one of the partners of this firm, but I also manage. And he said, I'm young, so I don't want people to judge me wrong. He's like, I want to still be like the good cop for the people who rent the tenants.
Right,
He's like,
and then be the owner.
Right, and then my partners can be the bad cop.
What did you think about that, knowing that?
I understood, because I've been young and wanting to be taken seriously or to be the good guy rather than the bad guy. So I got it. It was fine. I didn't really see that as a red flag. But what I did see as a red flag was his age.
So we're not going to ask his age, but how much difference was there?
17 years.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And
like I could be his mom.
And you said, yes, I was going to
guess
say,
sort
and you
of.
said to yourself, I could be his mom.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But you went out again.
We did because he texted, well, we had ended up kissing after, we had a little encounter, I call them. And
That's a good name.
it was a random encounter with
Yes.
this really, and he was so interested in me. He asked me so many questions about me, and we had a great exchange, and we laughed a lot, and we had fun, and it was enjoyable, and I wanted to see him again.
You established casual dating with this guy.
Yep.
And you're just going to have some fun.
Yeah.
Good.
And going out with him a second time, I knew in my head, going through this program, this is not somebody I could build a future with.
Right.
I already know this.
Right.
Just based on our interactions and everything.
Right.
But I wanted to explore it. And the reason why I wanted to explore it is because I wanted to make sure that I was actually ready for the real deal.
So what did you learn?
I learned that I am. Because when we went out a second time, it was a very difficult date for me. Like I just felt really, I felt like a piece of meat. And
How so?
Well, we went out for sushi, and there's like this lots of PDA, like he was just all over me at the sushi bar, and it was
So it's obviously very physical.
It was just that was the goal, and it became very clear to me that was the goal. And also the way the wait staff was being treated and stuff. I just thought this is not a person that I would want to be with, and so
he was rude with the wait staff.
Yeah,
and you were
not
noticing that.
really, really rude, not horribly rude, but enough to be like, okay, I could see how this is in a relationship probably later on down the line.
Yeah.
And he also went on and on about the one that got away. A
no.
girl who, and he showed me her pictures on Instagram.
Oh,
but then in the next moment
did you
was like
say?
leaning all over me and kissing me. So I was just like totally confused, and I was like,
when he's
I just
telling
said
you
to
about
myself-
her and showing you her picture, what did you say?
I was
What
like,
did you
she's
think
beautiful.
about
And I was
that?
like, I'm sorry. That's like I hope someday you can be with her again. And he's like, well, she's coming back to LA. And even if she divorces her, like she got married. So he said, even if she gets a divorce, I don't think I would want her back because then she'll do that to me. Or, so, there was something there. So, but he was still he admitted outright that he was still like completely in love with her.
I like knowing that, I like finding out that I had a purpose. That was I loved that part because I didn't know I had one, obviously. And now I have one, so I have something to strive for. So I like that. That was, I think, my ultimate favorite part, finding out that I had one. The aha moment was when I realized I didn't have a purpose. So when I was forced to write a purpose, I think that's what did the change. That's what made.
So that was the beginning. And
That was the initial flip from one side to the other. If we can pinpoint what changed in me, that was the purpose statement. But then everything after that is just like little points that just point back to it. I think I became more aware of things in myself from the program, like just more aware of me. Family's where it always is, and it's, right now I don't want to deal with the focus on family until I'm ready for it, but I will give this one very...
It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I know. I was driving home, and we were driving back, and I was about to go to McDonald's, and I got a phone call. And somebody doesn't know about this phone call yet because I didn't tell her. But my mom called and told me she was proud of me. Yeah, it's just... I'm still getting chills over it because she's never said it to me in all my years.
So that's a huge breakthrough for you. How do you feel about all that?
It wasn't a break. Well, I think that my attitude towards everything now is not as negative, obviously, which is, I guess, I'm putting it out in the universe.
Yes.
And I don't know. She's never felt the need to tell me she was proud of me. I have a date tonight. When we set up the profile, I got like, 73 hits or something like that, and within an hour. And this was the second person that emailed me. And we've been talking on text messaging, and we're going out on a date tonight.
So I went, and I wasn't quite sure where. Like, we didn't have an exact meeting point. It was more like an intersection of this road where there's all these like art galleries and stuff. He got courageous and threw out a little compliment. You know, he was like, "By the way, you have great eyes," and I was like, "Thank you." You know, and so I made it clear. Yeah, and so I made it clear that I was open to a hug. You know, and so we hugged, and then I could tell that he. You know, again, he was a little gun shy about like, you know, suggesting something else. And so I actually said, well, you know, I said, keep in touch. I said, let me know, you know, what our next adventure is going to be.
So I just want to remind you that you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
Right? So if you do want gentlemanly courting treatment on a first date in the future, you just need to ask for what you want.
Yeah. And I think like he was kind of gun shy about asking or like setting up another date because I had already kind of like shot down 2 of his ideas, you know. So I told him I was out of town for the break, and I told him I was out of town until the 30th, and guess what, he messaged me on the 30th like to like start the conversation going again, but this time he didn't make any suggestions. And I was like, he's so like
and a little gun shy.
Yeah, because he's like, this chick has already turned down 2 wonderful ideas. I don't got any more. You know?
So you've been on this date with Josh. How about we check out the red flag dating checklist and see if he's got any red flags? Okay, so would you want to spend the rest of your life with this person exactly as they are?
Well, that's tough because, like, I mean, like exactly as he was. Like he mentioned that he lives with a roommate and his roommate's girlfriend. So like, if I was to like look at that,
that's not him. That's his situation.
Right, but this says exactly as they are right now. So does that mean their situation too?
Well, I'm talking about him, the essence of him. Situations can always change.
Right.
Right? For better or for worse, for richer or for poorer. So that doesn't change who he is, whether or not he has millions of dollars or a rundown apartment.
Right.
It doesn't change who he is. So Leah, you're a lot like many people that I've worked with and many people out there. Like they're addicted to the chemistry. They're addicted to, it has to be that instant chemistry, that explosion right in the very beginning, or they'll just walk away. And what they're walking away from 9 times out of 10 is a lot of somebody that really is perfect for them. But they're worried so much about the chemistry, which isn't ultimately what makes the relationship. It's a piece of the relationship, but it's not the ultimate parts of the relationship. The ultimate parts are your values and your requirements and your needs. So it's something that people, it's like a drug. You get addicted to that feeling immediately. And you feel like that's what makes a good relationship. And it really isn't what makes a good relationship. It makes good sex and good fun and, you know, excitement, but it doesn't make for a good long-term relationship. So I just want you to keep that in mind as you're dating Josh, because clearly that's not happening here. But wow, there's so many other awesome things about him that are lining up, and there's really not a whole lot of red flags or danger signs going on right now. So I want to encourage you to stick with him. All right? You can have adventure in a functional way.
Yeah. Also, I wasn't sure if there was any kind of anything there, you know, and I think some of that is that rush that we've spoken about, that chemical rush of like that spark. So in the past, I don't know that I've ever given an opportunity to anyone that didn't come with that spark out of the gate.
Most of us do not want to take risks, especially in our relationships, because this is our heart. This is our feelings. This is the tenderest parts of ourselves. And taking risks means 2 things. It means that you're going after what you really want, and it might be scary because it might not happen, but it also means it's scary because it actually might happen. Our comfort zone, that is our biggest challenge in getting what we really want in our life. So radical dating is all about getting outside of our comfort zone, because the fear of failure will keep us in our comfort zone. I don't want to fail, so I'm not going to try. I'm not going to get off my couch because I don't want to get hurt and I don't want to fail. So we have a fear of success, we have a fear of failure. So it's no wonder that most of us want to stay in the middle someplace in our comfort zone, but that's where we stay stuck. And as coaches and relationship coaches, our job is to support you to get out of your comfort zone, take risks, do things that might be scary to you to get what you really want.
She hides well with makeup. She tries to lie, she's too good for that. The story